morning to you, my dear students. This is Shravan sir, and today we will try to deal the chapter in a detailed way. All right, there will be a bit of explanation, okay, as I have already explained it to you, but we will try to plunge into ourselves into the story and try to see what the story actually trying to tell us, okay. And today we will be dealing with the same topic, that is, how much land does a man need? Last week I had explained to you this one, okay, this chapter, and then I had given you exercise as well, okay, and I hope all of you have done that. Now today we will try to learn a bit more, okay. Now in this story you will find only two characters, that is Faun, okay, who is trying to buy a land, and a chief who is trying to sell it. And there is a condition, if you have read this chapter, which I have already told you, there is a condition. And if Fahum wants to buy a land, he has to give 1,000 rubles, yes or no. And then the condition is what? From the morning, from the point where he starts his journey, he has to cover whole lot of land, whatever he wants to buy with 1,000 rubles. And at the end, he has to come back to the same point. And in the story, we have found that he starts early in the morning, and he tries to cover plenty of land, okay, because he was greedy, yes or no. He tries to cover plenty of land, and in the afternoon he is exhausted, he is totally tired, okay. And then he sees now he has come too far. Now it's very difficult for him to go back to the starting point, yes or no. And then he keeps on moving, and he gives up at the end, because he comes to know that the sun is about to set. Now he cannot make it from the other hill, okay, and in another hill the people are still cheering for him, which gives him a boost, thinking that from my point of view, or from my point, the sun is about to set, but from theirs it is still there. So he gives a last shot, keeps on running. At the end he gasps for his breath, he falls down, okay, though he covers the land, but he dies. At the end he is buried in a 6 feet land. And in the book it is mentioned that that much of land actually he required. Yes or no? So this is the whole lot of story, okay. Now actually if we consider this story to our present, this one, or to ourselves, okay, we are also sometimes very greedy. For example, in a minute things, if we take it, like we have 2 pens, and if our friend asks us one to use it, we don't give them. We have 2 erasers with us, okay, but we don't give them, we don't share, because we become greedy. I have one toy and I demand another one to my parents, yes or no. And if they don't give us, we show our anger by not talking to them or not eating. So this is what actually the greed is actually. It's not only about the land. Though in the story it is explained about the land, it is not only about the land. We show this kind of attitude to our friends, our parents, yes or no, to our teachers sometimes. I include myself. I also do the same sometimes, when my desires and dreams are not fulfilled. So I want to tell you this one. That's why we need to be very careful about want and need. What we want, okay, and what is need. Wanting is, I have already one pen and I want to have that one also, that is possession, I want to have. See, in this Fahum, you see Fahum character, Fahum already had 100 acres of land, and he goes to the chief and he says, what is the procedure to buy a land out here? What kind of paperwork is there to buy a land? What kind of thing we need to do to buy a land? And the chief tells him, we sell by a day. If you start early in the morning, if you come back to the same place before the sundown, you get a plenty of land. See, he had already 100 acres of land, okay, and still he wants more, okay, and he thinks that in a day I can cover a whole lot of land. See, wanting. Okay, so we are always in want. Actually the need is what? He did not need the land also, because he had already. Need means what you really need. If you have finished your pen, you don't have anything to write, that is your need. You have to ask your parents to buy a pen, but that is your need, okay? And your parents, you don't have to tell your parents also to buy a pen or an eraser or a pencil. They will give to you because they know that it's your need, it's not your want. Okay? So this is what you need to remember. Okay, dear students, now I have written out here, Faham represents humans of today. Faham represents the humans of today. What kind of human being we see in and around in our society? See, wanting. I include myself. I want this, I want that, I want everything. I want. See, I go for want. Many of us, we go for want. Okay, Faham also went for want. He had land, but he went for want. Okay, so what happens at the end when we keep on going for wanting? We lose our life. Like Faham. The ethics of our life, the reality of our life, the magic that we have in our life, we just forget everything and we become like Faham, just wanting. Okay, and I have written out here, chief represent how to deal with the people like Faham. Okay, now chief, as you can see in the story, chief knew the intention and the way Faham was talking to him. He knew that this man is greedy, and if I place in front of him this condition, he won't be able to make out. He won't be able to make it out. Intentionally, chief puts forward this kind of intention or this kind of we say a petition in front of him. This is how we sell the land. He knew the intention of Faham, and intentionally he also places this kind of criteria to buy a land. Okay, and that's why I have written out how to deal with such kind of people. You find many people who are very greedy, and sometimes we also feel that this man is very greedy, and teach him a lesson. See, so these two human beings that you find in the story plays a vital role, and what we have to learn from this story is when we have things, okay, when we have things, we have to be satisfied. We should not keep on hanging on so many things which is not necessary or which are not necessary in our life. We have to hang on those things which are necessary, and we have to always go for needs. We have to always go for needs, not for want. Am I clear? Now, this week I request you to copy all the meanings, okay, and then see the video, and then try to ponder on it, whether you are very greedy or like Faham, or you are a person who try to share things, who try to be satisfied with what you have. You are satisfied with what you have, or you want so many things, the things that you already have with you, and still you want some more thing. Okay, please try to see what kind of person am I. I'll also see the same thing. I urge you to do the same. Thank you.